Welcome back to part 2 of the LS swap into the 1970 Cutlass. Chad's going to run us through exactly what happened last episode and what we can expect from this one.
Yeah, just like Kyle said, we got a lot done last episode. We were able to start undressing that engine. We took the hood off first, and then we took off a bunch of the front drive accessories, stuff like power steering pump, alternator, kind of the top end stuff with brackets, such like that. Took off the exhaust manifolds or headers and disconnected them from the pipe down below. Got all that done and we kind of just ran out of time. But today we're going to start picking it back up by me first going underneath. We're going to drain the coolant. After we drain the coolant, I'm going to then remove the lower bell housing bolts and also the torque converter bolts. We're planning on removing just the engine today, so that way we can then start mock fitting and test fitting the LS into here with where the factory Turbo 350 fits currently. So by leaving that there, we'll have a good idea of where this needs to go, where our brackets need to fit, and everything like that. So while I'm doing that, Kyle, what are you going to be up to?
We're going to start removing some of this electrical on the driver's side and pulling the pieces that we don't need out, getting it ready for the LS and the electrical pieces we're going to need for it.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and hop in. I'll go underneath and let's get started. So I have an aftermarket 3-core radiator from Champion, and my petcock is over here on the driver's side. So let's go ahead and venture under there. I got the drain pan under there already, and let's go ahead and drain that thing right now. Let's go and reach on down here and unscrew this. Oh man. Let's hope to not make a huge mess here. Flowing. Not too bad so far. We're just going to remove the whole thing from it. We're all open. So we're just going to let that drain. Probably take a few minutes. And after it drains, we'll be ready to go.
You were worried I broke this the other day. Just put this back together. Look at that.
Oh, was it just unsnapped?
It was just unsnapped. All right, we're pretty much done pulling the electrical pieces out that we can get out of the way right now without actually getting into the looms, which we don't want to get into just yet, not knowing specifically what we're going to use on the new system. But when Chad was pulling out his old Holley system, he actually took one step ahead and he left a little bit of the color-coded wire with the description on the wire. So this one is the coil negative for the coil. Now obviously we're not going to use this, but it's nice to have it so we know exactly where it is. But more importantly, we've got a couple wires over here for fan 1 and fan 2. So they're still marked. We know exactly what they belong to. No more guessing. We don't have to test when we go to put this thing back together. We just pull these wires, clip what we need, and put our new wires back on. But as I'm pretty much done here, let's go underneath to Chad as he starts pulling those transmission bell housing bolts, the starter bolts, and get that torque converter out of there as well. Let's head underneath.
All right, I am squeezed underneath this car here, and we got some flex plate bolts here on the back side of this that will connect to the torque converter. Got to take those loose. I believe there's 3 of them. And then we have 2 bell housing bolts, one here and one here. And then we also have the starter, but I'm just going to be removing the cables for the starter, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to them, so I might be removing the starter as well, depending on what I can get to. So first thing I'm going to do is take the 9/16 and remove my bell housing bolts. Just 2 of them because we can get to the other 2 above. I think I'm just going to drop this starter. So let's go ahead and drop the starter here. Loose. Perfect. Then all I have left is the other side. I gotta go to the other side to take it off though. All right, so I just tackled everything underneath that we needed to, and we are down to just 4 bolts here. And these are the 4 bolts in the bell housing here. We got a couple of them loose already, but we just gotta remove those 4. After we remove those 4, we're gonna get the engine mount on, so that way we can get the hoist in there. And after that, we should just be able to go right up out of here. So let's go ahead and get the 9/16 and get those out of here. All right, so got the bell housing bolts out. Next is going to be getting the motor mount long stud out of there. So we got to get that nut off, shove it out the back side, and same thing on the driver's side. So let's get started on that. Before we actually remove the engine here, there's one thing I wanted to kind of do is make a reference point on where the transmission is, either forward or backwards. And the way I'm going to do that is by just taking a piece of flat, this is actually a piece of 3D printed material, but it's nice and flat. I'm going to put it right up against the firewall. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark a couple of points on it as reference, so that way I can be like, okay, did it move forward at all? Did it move backwards at all? When I'm mounting up the LS. That way I know whether if not I need to adjust for that. So I got my 2 marks on here. We're gonna leave it here. Now Later on, if I have any question, I'll just take the same piece here, look at it, I can say, okay, it's good or it's bad, and go from there. So if you want to do that, we're going to do it. Might be helpful. All right, well, we ran over to my house real quick, grabbed my engine lift, and we got it mounted up already. We should just be able to go ahead and start jacking it up, and it should separate. One thing we need to watch out for is watching out for the water pump hitting those cooling fans, which should be very careful. It'll kind of probably jump about an inch this way just because of how long the boom arm is on this. But we'll watch it, keep an eye on things. It should be just fine. We're going to go ahead and pull it this way and then up and out. And after that, we're off to the races. So let's go ahead and start jacking this up. I'm going to guide it out.
Good?
Yep. Very good. Hey. Nope.
Good news is this thing's coming straight up from there.
What dropped so hard? Was that the starter?
As we wrap up part 2 of the LS swap into the Cutlass, Chad, you want to recap on what we accomplished this evening?
Well, first of all, I didn't hurt my hands when that starter and the transmission shifted when we took that other clamshell bolt loose that wasn't all the way out. So watch yourself there if you try to do this. But otherwise than that, no, we took care of like a lot of the bell housing bolts, torque converter bolts, clamshell bolts, and radiator fluid and stuff like that. And got all that taken care of. We ran over, got that hoist, lifted it on up, and it is fully out of the vehicle. Obviously, you can see here, this is a big boy. I forgot actually how big it was after looking at the LS and this. This thing's a good, I feel like a good 3 inches longer or so complete. So that's going to fit a little bit better in there, I believe. And I hope that it goes in there just as smoothly as this one came out. But yeah, in the next episode, what are we going to be doing?
We're going to be cleaning up the engine bay. We're going to take care of some of those miscellaneous items that are still hanging around there from when we pulled out the rocket motor. And then we're going to start trying to test fit the LS in there and make sure that we get it a good home.
Yeah, a couple things we need to do before we do that also is we need to change out that oil pan. That is the truck oil pan. I also got a few odds and ends that go on the back side behind that flex plate. New rear main seal and a couple other little things. So we also have a few things there that we have to get done. So, but yeah, anything else?
I think that wraps us up for the evening.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. If you did not catch the first episode entirely, make sure you go back to my channel, hit the videos, and also check that one out. Otherwise than that, in the next episode, we're going to be doing everything we just said. Click any of the Amazon links down below if you need anything that we used in this video. And subscribe to my channel. Again, we're going to be working on this for a good time. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys.
Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next?